right, everyone. Good morning to you. This is Kakaaki Social Umbrella Obozeghie. Now, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, is expected back in court on June 19, 2024. This is because his request for the restoration of his revoked bail and his removal from the custody of the State Security Services, which is SSS, was dismissed by the trial judge, Justice Binta Nyako. She noted that she found that Kanu jumped the bail earlier granted him and escaped out of the country. However, furiously speaking for himself, Kanu claims that it is illegal for him to be tried in any court in Nigeria, as he was forcefully brought back to the country.
Section 2, subsection 3F of Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act. That's what it says. Any court considered to try me is committed an act of terrorism. Yes. It's very clear. You cannot violate a treaty that Nigeria entered into and then come to try that very person. Is not done anywhere in the world. That is what Supreme Court said. I did not jump bail. My home was invaded. They came to kill me and I survived. They came to Kenya to kidnap me, brought me back to this country and seeking to try me, which the law says cannot happen. You cannot violate a treaty that Nigeria entered into and then hope to stand on that illegality to conduct a trial. Is not done anywhere in the world. And it happened in my case. Nobody had, there's no exception. No exception whatsoever. That's what the law says. Section 12 of the Constitution, what does it say? Any treaty ratified by Nigeria becomes law. It's law. You cannot change it. It doesn't matter what they do. All these shenanigans is just pure rubbish. You never stand. Not with me. I believe in justice and fairness. That's all.
All right, so that was it basically yesterday in Abuja. Let's see some thoughts to this development. Savage Kid says he is right to be agitated because if he can't be convicted for a crime he didn't commit, they should grant him bail as enshrined in the Constitution. There is no constitutional reason for holding him captive. And more thought is also the EOJ, who says, has Binta Nyako the powers to ignore the decisions of the Supreme Court? Someone should file a brief there to help us understand what is really going on. This whole thing has nothing to do with the law anymore. And final thought on this one is Sheyi, who says, too bad for him that as far as Nigerian security agencies are concerned, possession is 9/10 of the law. They've got him in their possession now, and that's fine enough for them. They won't even let him get a new Fendi fit. Well, he says he did not have access to his wares, and that's why he's been on the Fendi wear, the white one he's been wearing to court every time that he has had to appear in court since the beginning of his re-arrest. Let's move over to more stories, and this one is coming from Edo State, where the Oba of Benin, Noba Nedo Uku Akpolokpolo Eware II, is accusing the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, of aiding crimes by being for the highest bidder. He made the allegations when he received the newly deployed Benin Zonal Director of EFCC, Efa Okim, in his palace in Benin City, the Edo State capital, on Monday, which was just yesterday, and then he's asking the commission to fight crime without fear or favor.
No matter how much we try to support them, it's a young lady that was heading that team, that no matter how much we try to support them from the palace, they're very difficult when actually the time comes to assist them, that they seem to listen to other parties. That what I've been told is that take instructions from the highest bidder. You know, I'm known for speaking the truth, but telling it like it is. I was not happy about certain things that happened with your previous team, your predecessors. And if I saw your chairman, I would tell your chairman my mind about it. That's not how EFCC should behave.
All right, so how did this meet netizens yesterday? You remember on Monday, over the weekend, he was dancing to the reception, the return of the artifact from Germany, and yesterday again he was in the news for this very video that we just saw. Babanla says, "Them no lie for you, sir. They arrested Yahoo boys in my area. After 1 week, they started coming back one after the other. They settled even without court. Corruption, one key anti-corruption agency." And then another user also posting at Oladimeji says, "Thank God it's coming from a prominent individual. Assuming it's commoners, they would have asked for their heads in place. That's just the truth. Until our traditional and religious leaders stand for the truth, Nigeria will still remain the same." And also in reaction to this is Omar, who says, "How can Oba accuse fish of swimming in the river?" Well, such a proverb right there. Let's have more stories to this development. But then netizens were quick to bring back this video of the EFCC boss, Olukoyede, who earlier this year said that he would start the fight against corruption from the presidential villa. So there are questions already as to when is the beginning of the beginning and when are you starting. So we'll take a look at this video before more thoughts.
The institutions have penciled down is the State House itself. So we are going to start our forensic assessment at the villa. When we leave the villa, we are going to the National Assembly. We are going to the National Assembly Service Commission. We want to look into what they are doing there, their contract and procurement and work process. When we leave that place, we are going to the Federal Judicial Service Commission as well. And so we're going to balance it before we start talking about the ministries. I've been trying to look out for the Honorable Minister of Works here. He's not here, but after those three core areas, we are going to the Ministry of Works. We are looking at those who take the large chunk of our budget.
All right, so that was it. And if you did not miss that video, you would remember that Oba of Benin actually warned him or cautioned, advised him to be wise. But then to another development, netizens have revisited the 2024 budget to pick holes in the 6 billion naira for the construction of parking lot at the National Assembly. Well, this is as the government of Bola Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, announced the approval of the 1 billion naira that will be used as equity contribution partnership with private developers to construct hostels in 12 selected tertiary institutions. Well, the selected schools are made up of 6 universities, 3 polytechnics, and 3 colleges of education. This is not a problem for netizens as they compare 6 billion naira for Kakaaki and 1 billion naira for 12 schools hostels side by side, the beneficiaries of both gestures. So how did it meet netizens? Because Peter Obi also reacted to this yesterday, but we'll see that as a final reaction to this. Let's bring in netizen at this point. Omoya teacher says, "A few digest of my findings. Nigeria's 2024 healthcare budget for over 200 million Nigerians under President Tinubu is 1.3 trillion naira. With 15 billion naira allocated for the National Assembly Hospital, surpassing the combined capital vote for 6 major teaching hospitals. Nigeria's education budget is 1.54 trillion naira, with 15.3 billion naira allocated for the National Assembly Library project and book procurement, including e-libraries, despite the country lacking a national library." More thought on this one is coming from another user, Tayo, who says, "Nigeria is a big joke. How can you allocate 6 billion naira for National Assembly's car park and another 4 billion naira for the construction of its recreational facility? Yet the total budget for student loan is 5 billion naira. Where is the sense in that?" And more questions coming in from Nigeria Vote Watchers, who says 70% of those in government today didn't get there through education or intellectual capacity. They simply grabbed power and ran with it. You can't expect focus on the education sector from those without verifiable education credentials. The 90 billion allocated for Hajj could fund world-class primary schools in every local government in Nigeria. However, that isn't politically savvy for the current officials in power. And then also in reaction to this is Peter Obi, who tagged, you know, his post will always be long. He tagged this one, Giant of Africa, and he says, approved for the construction of hostels in 12 tertiary institutions is just 1 billion naira. It is time for us to stop this financial indiscipline and embrace financial discipline by prioritizing the allocation of resources to the critical areas of human and national development. Personally signed by him right there. So that has been it for netizens on social media. But this guy has been trending. It is a video of Damilola, and that is what has been making the news on the space of social media. He bagged all the awards as the best student of his school. So let's just take some minutes of that, and then we come back to call it a day.
Best in mathematics, Akirili Damilare. Best in physics, Akirili Damilare. Best in geography, Akirili Damilare. Best in chemistry, Akirili Damilare. Second best in achievement test, science.
All right, so you see, it was a 2 minutes video and he won all the awards best. And I think that it's at this point that parents will begin to ask their children, how many heads that person will carry first gets for your class? But then we cannot all carry first. First is just one.
Ooh, Akinruli Damilare.
Yes.
That sounds like an Ondo name, but wherever he's from, excellence is just the key word here. And like the video says, when the spirit of excellence is within a person, it manifests.
Well, I also like to demystify the position of first, because there are also some children who are good at certain subjects without actually coming first in position. And I think that when we perhaps lose the mystique around coming first or second or third and focus more on the skills and the ability of a child, maybe their best will come to the fore. Because I always argued that with my dad and mom, because I would do best in English and maybe I will not take first in class, and they will focus on I didn't come first in class. But what of the ones I did well in? Isn't it something that we also have to look at?
I think you're basically talking about the need for us to de-emphasize what we call paper qualifications. And
starting from that level.
Yes, the educational system itself needs a rejig, because Akinruli Damilare may have gotten all those prizes, but it doesn't mean that he's the best in all of those things all around. There are factors that will predispose people to do well or not do well, but let's not take anything away from Damilare.
Yeah, but for his level, he doesn't need certificates. What he needs now is certificates. So yeah, so I would clap for him, and I'm sure that you are not saying anything
It reminds me of
different.
Tessa Makinywa, who said she always came last in class, but she was able to, produce the first perfume or be the first perfumer in her family, and her parents should be proud of her on social media.
First is relative.
The key fact is that everybody has a unique level of excellence at certain things. All right?
Absolutely.
All right. See you later.
All right. Thank you, Rena.